So I was trying to catch up on some of the supposed best movies of 2025 because I looked at the year and I was like, wow, there's like nothing that came out. I can't even give you 10 movies I've seen, let alone a top 10 list. And The Long Walk kept showing up in everybody's top 10 list, so like, all right, fine, yeah, I know it's a Stephen King novel, I know the premise, whatever. So I watch it, and this is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. And I mean both morally and visually. And the biggest problem is the premise. There's plenty of movies that have, live or die contests, competitions for prize money, and they work or don't work to various degrees or extents. The issue with The Long Walk is that it is both fully transparent and fully voluntary. And the nature of the contest is so directly correlated with impossibility that the whole thing falls apart. And it becomes basically just a giant suicide cult. 50 young guys, one from each state. The characters act as if the contest either wasn't voluntary, it was, or that they didn't know they would be killed when they lost, they did. It's been live streamed on TV every year for the last 15 years or whatever. So you have a bunch of young guys who enter a contest where if they win, they get a bunch of prize money and then one wish. The government grants some kind of wish. It's just a walking competition. They all start walking, and if you ever dip below 3 miles per hour walking speed, you get a series of 3 warnings that reset after a time period frame, and then you're shot in the head and killed. That's it. That's literally it. That is the entire movie. The whole time we're waiting for some twist or some revelation or some change of pace or structure where the walk ends and something else is going on, and it just doesn't happen. The movie's incredibly straightforward and predictable. Here's the issue. It's not a fighting competition where it's like, I'm stronger than most people, I could probably fight them all and win. If there's not a finish line threshold where some multiple of contestants can make it, it literally keeps going until there's only one of them left. So the contest necessitates the death of 49 of the 50 contestants. It's not like, okay, if I just need to make it this far and then I'm good, I could probably do that. It's literally, you need to outlast 49 other guys. And what kind of arrogant fool thinks he can do that? And the fact that it's voluntary. They don't have to do this. So everybody who does that does this willingly, which means they're just signing a suicide pact. This is just a suicide club. It's not like there's a high risk. It's mathematically 95% of you must die. There is a point where the human body can no longer continue to walk. It's just a question of at what time and when. So you're just crossing your fingers and hoping through sheer luck that your body makes it before other people's bodies do. Which, again, it's an incentive structure where you want everybody else to lose. Compare this to the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games works because it's not a voluntary competition. It's run by villains, it's run by oppressors, it's run by opponents that force you to do things, and then you're put in a situation where you can effectively go through the entire Hunger Games innocent, survive and win, because you can say every kill I made was in self-defense. You can enter and exit the Hunger Games without ever having committed a sin. It's possible. Katniss volunteers because she doesn't want her little sister to have to go through that. The framework starts and sets up with some heroism and some self-sacrifice and some familial protection. And the reason that Mark Hamill, the Major, gives for why society allows this is laughably nonsensical. It's because it inspires production and everybody outputs way more work after the contest than they normally would have. Like, nothing is inspirational like watching 50 young men be humiliated on live TV and then kill themselves and then get brutally murdered. Yeah, that makes me want to go to my job with gusto the next day. Shut up. But like, literally, that is the whole movie. And it's just them talking. It's a series of young men failing to maintain 3 miles per hour walking speed for various reasons at various times and then being systematically shot in the head. Like, that's disgusting. That's gross. I don't want to watch that. What about that is enjoyable? It switches back and forth between like 3 camera angles the entire movie. It ends exactly how you think it's going to end. Nobody bothered to train or practice. Like, only one guy brings a second pair of shoes, and some of them are fat, and the dialogue is literally, I kid you not, 75% F-words. Like, they're trying to overtake Wolf of Wall Street as the highest F-bomb count per minute of any movie ever, and they might have done it. There's no moral framework where anybody in this movie is innocent. The contestants are all committing suicide, and the soldiers are all murderers. Nothing about the violence is narratively efficacious or visually, enjoyable. You watch a war movie, you watch an action movie, like, it's fun, it's entertaining, even if it's graphic to various degrees, to watch one guy, kill a bunch of other people, or to watch mutual combat or battle scenes. The context is everything. This is just gross. I don't want to watch 15-year-olds get their faces blown off. That's not entertaining. And it's like, okay, it's not supposed to be entertaining. It's supposed to be shock value. It's like, okay, again, they throw out the disturbing horror aspect of it too because it's a voluntary contest. People don't realize just how much that ruins the rest of the movie. They chose to be here. I don't want to watch a bunch of 15-year-olds kill themselves. I don't want to watch a movie that contains 49 counts of suicide. What about that is enjoyable or edifying or has some sort of moral framework to learn? The sheer lack of moral framework you have to come out of this movie anything other than disgusted, not to mention the fact that it includes more than 0 scenes of human defecation with a camera angle that shows the bodily exit of said defecation, which is an automatic 1 out of 10. Literally worse than vomit. If you show puke in a movie, look, I'm okay with human bodily fluids. All right, blood, fine. Pee, I don't like it. It's gross, but all right, I'm not gonna write home over it. It's the human liquid solid mixture that is just should not be legal to show on screen. Vomit, poop, it should automatically have your movie be rated NC-17. Well, what is that rating even for if it's not gonna protect me from that kind of content? It's just gross. I don't want to look at it. And it's all shot live, and they're doing it in front of women too. One of the soldiers is a freaking ponytail. I guess she could be trans. Probably a lot of transgenders in the society. But again, I didn't write this novel. I didn't make this movie. I'm judging you based off of what you chose to do. You put yourself in a position where your movie requires you to have a bunch of young men pull their pants down, crap on the street in front of women, and then get shot in the head. What about that sounds like quality entertainment? And the whole thing is live streamed too, so they're probably doing it in front of their moms. That's not disturbing. It's just gross. It's just vile. It's just filth. The way the contestants interact with each other is just so nonsensical and counterintuitive and the opposite of what the contest would incentivize. And it's just unrealistic that there's that many that would be that kind and nice and have this brotherhoodly camaraderie. It's like, dude, this is not a contest where you can team up with somebody like in the Hunger Games and watch each other's back and increase your chances. Your chances are literally 1 out of 50 mathematically. The faster everyone else dies, the better chance you have of making it. And there are several scenes where this just doesn't compute with the contestants, and there are people who would have died and then they run back and grab them and help them stay up to speed. Which, I mean, again, in a different context could be this self-sacrificial, selfless act and thing to do and be like, okay, there's this natural human innate instinct that just doesn't want other humans to die. Then why did you enter the freaking contest, dumbass? They have to die eventually. All you're doing is prolonging their pain. So any surface level virtuous action that the characters might take is negated by the fact that the premise of the movie is so fundamentally irredeemably broken that even within the context of this movie, what you're doing is literally irrelevant and you're still committing suicide and you're still incentivizing murder. Spoilers, there's one guy who's able to grab an AR-15, kill one of the soldiers, and then stands there while the rest of them kill him, which is dumb and made no sense. It's like, okay, there's only 2 vehicles watching you with like 5 or 6 soldiers tops. If you were able to kill one of them that quickly, you still got 20 plus rounds in your mag, dude. If you want to have some camaraderie, have them try to overthrow the soldiers. Have it be a plot for, revolution from the get-go. It's not, and it's not organized. If this were a better movie and the contest wasn't voluntary, we could maybe talk about the ending where it differentiates and distincts the different ways in which men face their own death. Some of them with varying degrees and levels of dignity. And we could talk about the differences between giving up, giving in, letting go, surrendering. But no, you all died the same. You all just killed yourself because you all signed up for the damn stupid friggin' contest. And the only guy I was rooting for was the religious black guy who refused to cuss. And then at the end, when he finally gives up, he says, "I'm going home." It's like, oh, that could have been something. Except then he pulls out a rosary. It's like, oh, he's Catholic. Never mind. And then the endings. Full spoilers. So the only people left are Paul, the black guy, and then Garrity, Ryan, whatever, the fat white guy on the cover. And they basically enter a contest between the two of them to see who can kill themselves faster so that the other one can win. Which is so mind-numbingly dumb and selfish, particularly given the appearance of Judy Greer, Garrity's mom, shows up. And he's like, "I'm sorry, Bob, I shouldn't enter the contest, I'm sorry." It's like, okay, so you're not sorry. Not sorry enough to not kill yourself when the black guy tried to kill himself so that you could go back home to your mom. You value this black guy you just met over your own mother, who's a terrible mother because she let you enter the effing contest. If you fundamentally change the premise of this movie, there are some aspects and things about human nature and how men face death and things that you could analyze and maybe glean some stuff from. But there is no moral lesson in here. You want to know the moral lesson of The Long Walk? Don't enter a suicide contest. It's pretty freaking straightforward. This movie was gross, this movie was disgusting, and this is what happens when you let liberal atheists like Stephen King write material. Everybody involved with this movie should be prosecuted, including Mark Hamill. Especially Mark Hamill.